if they're going to drill on your particular surface or your property, you're going to start to see those kind of folks coming out. And I mean, no disrespect to the industry, but a lot of times those folks don't talk to each other. So you need, it's best, we recommend that you deal with them as a whole group, not as individuals coming in and off your property. You want the landman who promised that the road won't go over here to talk to the dozer operator that can't put the road over there. And it's best to go over there. And not have those kind of issues when they get to the property. Know your limits. If you've signed the lease, you're agreeing to live by that lease for that particular time period. If they've drilled the wells for as long as the well is holding the property, know your limits and manage it best you can. You know, a lot of people have signed gas leases for less money than the next guy. You can't continue to beat yourself up about it. It's just it's the information you had in front of you, in making decisions. Right? Somebody asked me the other day, are we at the peak of this gas leasing? No, I don't. I'll get my crystal ball out, but nobody knows. But the leases are starting to come to where the ones that were signed 5 years ago that have not been drilled upon are going to need to be drilled upon, or they're going to, unless they have automatic renewals in them, which is something that as we go through this, we'll go through some recommendations of what to have in and what not to have in. Not that it's going to cover everything, but just some suggestions. Keep copies of everything. If they send you a royalty statement, keep a copy of it. Scan it, whatever you want to do. But keep a copy of it, because the next thing you know, the company sells the well, or something happens, the ownership changes, and files get lost and files go away, and you need to keep copies of what you have on your property. The division orders, the remittance statements, the copies of the checks, copies of the lease, although the copy of the lease, not always, but should be recorded in a courthouse, but now we all want to go through and record a memorandum that there is a lease, so that it's not necessarily public knowledge, it's just that there's a lease out there. So keep copies of everything. And be proactive. Know your property, know what you can do, what you can't do, and be vigilant and do something. Be proactive about your property, about your mineral, and know who's on it, know what's going on, or find somebody that will do it for you. There are people out there that do this for a living that help people like that. And plan ahead. If you've got 1,000 acres and you've only got one well drilled on it, and it's not in a unit, you need more wells drilled. That's not developing the property. That's one of the biggest problems, besides held by production, that they hold all the acreage by one well. That's a large issue. We have issues in southern West Virginia because these gas companies have left the area, that now what are we going to do with the properties down there? Well, we drilled on them. Well, yeah, but when are you going to develop them? You know, you need to develop them, and then we go through this whole legal thing of implied development and fighting all that. We've already gone through these. Some of the recommendations we would have in what to have in a lease. The first thing is, don't sign it when they first knock on your door. Very politely say thank you, and I'll get back to you. They're in a hurry, but they're really not in a hurry. They want you to sign it right away, and they're typically wanting you to sign a document that has been reviewed and worked on for the last several years, and by their attorneys, and that is skewed respectfully towards the gas company. I mean, that's the way it is. And you need to take a breath when they offer you $2,000 an acre and 18.75% royalty rate. You need to go, wow, that's really good. But what's in the rest of the lease? Do I have well location approval in my lease? Do I have pipeline approval in my lease? Do I have a clause in there that talks about where they're going to get the water for all this, for this new fracking and this lot of the water that they're using? Do I talk about what are they going to do with this water? Are they going to do it? Do they want to do it on my property? Do they want to? Where are they going to take it? Don't lose as little control as you can. You can't go out and drill gas wells. You want them to be on the property drilling gas wells because that gains you revenue from the property. But don't lose control of it through the lease. If they want to, you need an assignment clause in there that says, if in effect, that if Chesapeake goes to sell it or assign it to AB Resources, you have to give approval. And you're going to go through this, and they're going to look at you and go, we can't do that. But you start the negotiation process, and you have to. I'd recommend that, you got held by production issues, and we're saying, hey, look, the only time that you and I get to talk about this lease is now.